about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, the public being left in line at the bankruptcy courts. We've seen this story before.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. Sit back, relax, because this video is going to be absolutely amazing. You're going to see the big picture of how XRP is setting up for a significant price increase. We're going to get into some factual information with video evidence backing that up. JP Morgan is attacking Ripple and a digital asset XRP. We already know that. We covered it on a previous video. But today, folks, this is it. You guys heard that intro of Gary Gensler calling us scammers and fraudsters, and they just did the biggest scam with FTX and no one is talking about it, right? Let's just pretend like that never happened, and let's go to entities like Coinbase and Binance, where they're been trying to get regulatory clarity within the US, but they just ignored us. Sit back for this video because you are gonna see exactly what's playing out here. Ashish Birla, Brad Garlinghouse, the entire Ripple team, they weren't fans of JP Morgan and the JPM coin. You guys know that, but we have more evidence. Take a listen to what Brad Garlinghouse says here.
Payments flow.
We're pushing, and also a lot of money attached to those settlements.
For sure. So we have over 100 banks working with Ripple today around the world. I think the vast majority of banks, like 99.9% of banks, actually are paying other banks, the kind of the global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. 99.9% of banks actually are paying other banks, the kind of the global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. So a lot of the banks are very excited about democratizing how these global payments flow.
99.9% of the banks are paying global center banks like JP Morgan and Citibank. That's why JP Morgan doesn't want Ripple to take over, because Ripple will do it on a scale that JP Morgan could never do. And that is a fact. So, you guys heard that last part. Citibank, $4 trillion a day. Citi partners with Matico to develop institutional digital asset custody capabilities. Ripple buys crypto custody for Matico for $250 million. Add this up, folks. Add this up. JP Morgan is the last bank that is still playing hard to get, and they want control over this. It's SEC and JP Morgan. It is absolutely disgusting. And even Ashish Birla, a reputable individual at Ripple, doesn't work there anymore, but had worked there for over 4 years. Take a listen to what he even said about JPM coin.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that's really interesting about the JPM coin is that it's essentially just a database rebranded as a blockchain. I mean, there's really no inherent need for using a blockchain for that.
And if you guys remember what even Brad Garlinghouse said about JPM coin.
He was interviewing me. I said, so is Morgan Stanley going to use the JPM coin? And he's like, well, probably not. And so, well, is Citi going to use the JPM coin? Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Is PNC? And the answer is no. If you're just moving it within the JPM ledger, and it has to be dollar to dollar, a one-to-one backing, it honestly doesn't actually, I don't understand what problem that solves.
Do you see where the conflict is here? They are not partners. They don't like each other. But Citibank and Ripple, we had evidence on Citi and Ripple for years, but now we could confirm that Citi will be working with Ripple 100% because Ripple acquired Matico. It's not like this deal is just gonna fall off. It's not gonna just be about digital asset custody. It's gonna be much more than that. And where do we even go from here? Because we are so bullish. Because Jim Cramer just said, as the crypto lawsuits pile up, Cramer says, get out while you can. And you guys all know the joke about, it's not a joke, it's actually real, about inverse Cramer. Everything he says It's always the opposite. But in my opinion, what's happening right now is they're shutting out retail. You guys heard with the Binance news, USD channels will be suspended. Withdrawals for Binance US in USD and deposits are going to be suspended. And there's going to be limits to how much money you can send to these exchanges when the rally starts. Keep in mind, their volumes are going to pick up. The networks are going to get congested. A lot of people don't take this into consideration before a bull run. If you're a retail investor and you have a $1,000 holding in crypto or $2,000 holdings in crypto, you're not going to accumulate as much in a bull run because a lot of stuff are going to be congested. Even when the last bull market, Binance, people were selling Binance accounts for over $1,000 because onboarding was so backed up and people wanted to get into crypto. And I tweeted this out yesterday. They're going to make it extremely hard for people to get into crypto now. For those that accumulated for the past 6 years, congratulations. You think a retail investor with $20,000 looking to buy XRP at $3 will be able to send $20,000 and buy XRP? The answer is no, and that is a fact. The answer is no. You will not be able to send unless you're a multi-millionaire that has access to over-the-counter or know somebody that has a big bag of XRP that they're willing to send to you. That's the only way. But I'm telling you, once this rally starts, people are going to be FOMO. After this video, we're going to dissect how much XRP is actually out there, and this is going to blow your mind. I'm going down and dirty into XRP scanning, counting every XRP and who's holding it. So this video is going to really open up a lot of people's eyes on how much XRP is really out there. But just keep in mind, they want us out. They're going to make it extremely hard. Even if they do allow USD deposits or any kind of onboarding, you're going to be limited to 1,000 a day, 3,000 a day. It all depends on the bank. It depends on being verified. Long story short, if you have accumulated for the past 6 years, 3 years, congratulations, because it's going to be extremely hard to send money and accumulate as much as you can, especially when you're trying to catch a price when a bull market started. $3, $4, $5, $6, these things happen extremely fast in a blink of an eye sometimes. So other coins might get delisted. Robinhood rethinks ADA, Sol, and other crypto offerings as the SEC crackdowns. XRP has 3 years head start, ladies and gentlemen. We got clarity on the way while other assets will wait. Will they mirror the Ripple test? Will the Ripple test be a thing? But to finish off today's video, take a listen to what Brad Garlinghouse says here about, JP Morgan again. You can't make this stuff up. It's all politics. There's a political battle going on right now in the crypto sector. This sector is not going anywhere. It is peanuts. It's at $1 trillion in market cap. I cannot even wait for what's to come. Remember, the last bull market, folks, we went up to about 4 trillion, and XRP's value, and I don't know, yesterday we talked about market cap. You could still use the word market cap until someone else comes up with another name. But a utility-driven market cap, which I've been stating from day one since inception of my YouTube career, a utility-driven market cap for XRP could easily reach 20 to 40 trillion on a very, very conservative scale. The stock market is about 110 trillion, but keep this in mind. This is a utility-based token moving value from one end to another, a tokenized world. These assets are not all IPOs. They're not stocks, but it will have stocks within that value. So it could be much, much bigger. Ripple alone in the future could have $100 trillion in market cap because it's the internet of value, something that we have never seen before. Just like Tesla. In 2000, if you said Tesla was going to be on the streets driving self-driving cars, no, but everybody would laugh at you. Everybody would laugh at you because your mind is not conditioned to see it. It's the same thing about what's about to happen in this crypto sector. With that being said, take a listen to what Brad Garlinghouse said. And if you guys haven't already, the XRP pendant, link in the description down below. and we'll be back with another episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, but just take a listen to Brad. This conflict has been going on for years, and Ripple will be the last one laughing.
Talking about Jamie Dimon, we first have to recognize where he's talking. I mean, and by the way, there's also people who conspiratorially he's trying to talk down the price of Bitcoin so JPM can buy it. Like the idea that JP Morgan isn't actively working in the blockchain and Bitcoin space is not true. Frankly, I don't mind sharing. There are 15 senior JP Morgan people at Ripple's offices this afternoon. Now, unless JP Morgan's going to fire them.
Does JP Dimon know that?
Apparently not. Anyway, so look, that's my thought on the whole JP Dimon thing. I do think there are people who are going to say this is, in the same manner, a very smart investor said to me, in 1997, the whole West Coast was long Amazon and the whole East Coast was shorting Amazon. We saw how that worked out. And his point was basically, look, the West Coast is obviously bullish and, there's some that are very cynical about these things and, we'll see how it works out. On the risk factor, just very briefly, because I don't want to go on too long, but I think what we have to remind ourselves is this has to come back to utility. What problem is the digital asset solving? If it's solving a real problem and it's creating value by solving that problem, then there will be value in the token. We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening.
Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.